Hello, welcome to the fifth part of the second part 19 compendium. As announced in the previous one, we're going to take a look at the 13 tetrises game. Much more aggressive stuff, stacking full tetrises intentionally, very close to top out situations. Without further ado, let's start analyzing the game. We're stacking full tetrises by default on my well, so following the very basic setups. O's go to the left, setting this O tower on the left, and right is getting filled, then trying to merge both sides of the board into the third column well, Tetris well. So O goes to the left, T goes to the right, Z follows, T follows as well. This L sets up this great shape here, going from right to the left into the well. This number goes all the way to the left so that the first column is going to be secured for the next few lines. And there will be this single possible in order to set up for Tetris, L, T, or J. All goes here so that we are getting a bit closer to the Tetris setup. Now we only need on these 8 points and the lumbar here, or these points, and then a single. Okay, this Z goes here. It can go all the way to the right as well. Maybe it would be even slightly better all the way to the right, because the shape of the board, the shape of the accessible space would be slightly better. But here it's fine as well. We are now basically three pieces away from Tetris readiness. A few more if the single is needed. Okay, and the T goes here. Now directly setting up the well in a way that it should be possible to set it up using one of those singles just in a few pieces. Here, this T can burn immediately, I mean set up the delayed burn, but it would be quite aggressive. That's 0 lines, so it doesn't really matter what we do now, but here it's perfectly fine as well, just a little bit more of the slower option in a way. This here, it's not a mistake really, because now after any of those singles and filling this to white here, it's going to be 6 high. Maybe I'm going to draw it, because it's not that straightforward. Okay, we got something like this, and this L went here. L here is possible as well. Maybe it would be even slightly nicer, because now we would have this nice setup on the left and only 2 pieces short of Tetris readiness. So this would be pretty much all fine, but putting this all the way to the right also isn't that bad of an option, because now after any of those singles, for example T single, the right is gonna be 6 high once again, so it's accessible for the L, and we are going to end up having this spire in the middle most likely anyways, so it shouldn't make any significant difference in the long run. Although this is just very aggressive setup, and that's it. If you want to force a Tetris, you are going to deal with potential trouble like the one in this situation. But it's 0 lines, so it doesn't really matter. Continue. Now we're following the very aggressive setup. It's all in 0 lines, nothing to risk. So the Tetris setup, now we are just waiting for a lomba. There isn't really anything else we can do. Just waiting for the lomba and that's it. Using as much of the space as possible. Now those are quite nice pieces. It is kind of a spire already, or it's starting to get spire-ish. The next one would create a spire, surely. Now, maybe not yet, but still pretty close. And we get the first Tetris. This L to the right is obvious, and we start another Tetris setup here immediately. Now we are only 2 pieces short of Tetris readiness, O to the left, and anything to fill this point. We get something at this point. We get the O to the left. So our Tetris ready once again, pretty much immediately. J goes to the right, trying to fill the space on the right, using as much of it as possible. And now we're waiting in the middle, setting up those possible kind of flat burns like L burn, J burn, L burn, T burn if nothing works, but trying to leave the fourth column 7 high, because now after these two O's, O here and O here, this would be 8 high, while this 7 high, so this burn would be possible. For example, this triple here. Maybe I'm gonna draw it as well, because it's not that simple. Now when I think about it, what's the idea behind it? If you get O here and O here, then if we fill this, and this is thus fillable, it doesn't really matter in what way. For example, in this way, we still have this triple option here. If we get AJ, we get this triple, removing all of this, still being Tetris ready, but making the board significantly lower, giving ourselves like 6 pieces of space more easily. Oh, okay, that's where we get the lomba. So the Tetris is here immediately. It's great. Now this L can go all the way to the left, but it doesn't really have to. Here it's fine as well. Just more of a slow option, and making some chances that it's gonna be needed to burn something on the left, but it's fine. We have unlimited time. We get the first O, so now we are only another O short from the Tetris readiness. And we get another one. Here it is. So now we're waiting for a lomba. We are gonna try to set up the stack right above the Tetris well in a way that we can get some clean burns out of it. Let's see. For example, if we get S and O, it would be great. We have O burn here and Z burn here. Get S like this, then another O works as well. If we get a T, then O works very well as well. If we get, for example, S, we can also make flat burns like this, keeping the well Tetris ready. So we have quite a lot of options. Now it's time to take care of the right side of the Tetris well, this part of the board, so that it becomes possible to get any of these burns, as now it isn't. But we get a lomba, so no trouble once again, and great pieces to follow. And here now we are in a kind of possible well transformed situation. because this is 4 wide. So after any through right, like this J, it's gonna be possible to set up for Tetris on the fourth column with just two pieces. For example, O here and L here, or S here and L here. And there is a lot of three-piece combinations. For example, lomba, O-piece, anything too wide. I mean, lomba, O-piece, another O-piece, or lomba, O-piece, L-piece. Maybe even lomba, O-piece, J-piece. Quite risky, but possible. So most likely now we're gonna try to take the chance and set up for Tetris here on the fourth column. Let's see how it goes. Yes, that's why it goes to the left. We don't follow the right now, as it would make it very high, and there's no real need to. Most likely, even when just playing for survival, it may turn out that putting this S all the way to the left is slightly better, because we need to burn something here. We are kind of running out of space on the right already. That's why this S here isn't necessarily that good. Of course, it's fine because it just works well here, but here to the left it gives a lot of immediate burns, so it might be very good as well. And here actually we got a chance to set up for Tetris, but I didn't see it. If O goes here and the L goes here, we are Tetris ready on the fourth column. I just didn't see it during the game, or couldn't see it, because it's not possible to adjust such pieces. Maybe I didn't even wanna try to take this kind of opportunity. Maybe I just wanted to go back to the third column. I believe so. Okay. This simply follows here. Doesn't have any other good spot to go. And in this situation, if you want to be very, very aggressive, you can technically wait for an L all the way to the left here, trying to fill this and this point in the meantime. Here it looks like I didn't want to be that aggressive, that's why I just burn out of it, which is a very good option as well, because there's unlimited time. And this T is a mistake, unfortunately. The thing is, if we put this T here, we are gonna have holes on both left and right. This is a hole, and this is a hole as well. So the board can spiral out of control very soon, very easily. That's why it would have been much better to bring this T all the way to the right here and burn out of it slowly from right to the left. Fortunately, we get this perfect L to the left, so now there shouldn't be any trouble. And lomba falls to the left, and we already are in another early kind of pre-setup. We are very close to being Tetris ready, given how few things there are on the board. It's only a lomba here, something to fill this, and something to fill this. So it's not that far from Tetris readiness actually. And as often when just burning normally while kind of having failed a Tetris setup, there's a very good chance for a Tetris well on the second count. If you get, for example, J here and something to fill this, a safe setup on the second count is also possible. But now, not taking it, taking the very aggressive option, I haven't expected myself to have done it. I thought this OT would simply go here all the way to the right. I was in a very aggressive mood when playing this game. It looks like. It's also fine, because now it is kind of a move, yeah, give me lomba and I will be Tetris ready and clean, or give me something to burn, so I will burn. it's all they are all fine options at the end of the day. They are pretty safe, they don't cause any trouble, and thanks to the first one being secured like this and summer space on the right, it should be pretty easy to bring it all back down when not if the lomba doesn't come. But I believe it would be objectively much better to bring this T all the way to the right here. This is like an all-in move, Tetris or nothing. And this follows the idea of Tetris and nothing, or Tetris or nothing. We set up the Tetris immediately using this L. It wasn't needed, although it isn't that bad of an option in itself as well, because we can't really burn with it. This burn wouldn't really work, because now I won't show it on the board. I won't draw it. I mean, just explain why. If we burn here, this is too high, and this is 1 high. 2 plus 1 equals 3, so we will be 3 high on the second column. Yeah, counting to 3 is difficult, but I'm afraid you're gonna have to do it here. That's why this L has to go somewhere else. Here, to spire-ish, to here, to spire-ish as well, and create a double hole here and here. So just sets up the Tetris. It's possible that in terms of pure survival, it would be the best to put this L here flat on 8, 10 like this, because then there are going to be a lot of flat burns here, like J flat burn here, T flat burn here, and it gives a lot of space on the right. This good space thanks to this single point being filled, so that you will be able to stack easily on the right. But here we go for Tetris, and fortunately we get a lomba again. This is very nice. And many sorry, lombas in this game, but when you want to stack for Tetrises, you have to hope they come at the right time. And this burns. Now, kind of messy situation. This T to the left is kind of rushy, I believe, but it's fine. Yeah, it's the best. It's in this kind of situation, it's gonna be by far the best to just sacrifice this bottom line entirely for now and focus on cleaning this one. Because the only other option would be a T flat here, the other that direction, but this would create this double hole here and here. So we're not doing that, just sacrificing this line. It's open. Here, this maybe is kind of a mistake. To the left seems much better, but here also shouldn't be able to surviving. That only kind of discussed wars here and there. So yeah, just about to clean, despite it doesn't seem to, but it's something to clear now. And we're burning, now filling up the right. And the T goes high to the left. Here I'm also not sure if this T is the best there. Seems slightly better here or here. Thing is, we have the same hole here and here. And S piece doesn't solve it, because after an S here, we still have the same hole here. After S here, then we will have double hole here and here. So the T could have solved one of them. On the left, it doesn't really solve anything. It isn't really needed that much there. That's why I think it would be slightly better to put this T either here or here. Maybe even better here on the bottom, because it would give two very easy, simple, straightforward, quick burns here on the first and second row, most likely. Yeah, it looks like it. right? And now this number solves one of those micro holes, goes here, and this J is an interesting placement because it does a few things at once. On the one hand, the whole idea is that after this we have only two holes, one here, the second here. They are the same, but yeah, we can't do anything about it. But we could also put this J here, the other way around, taking the single immediately, but I'm not sure if it's that much better, because this creates this hole here anyways. So we would have hole here, and there would be the third hole here. Now in this way, we are down to only two holes. So maybe it's slightly better, difficult to tell. Kind of a whatever you want situation. We continue burning it down, and this is kind of an aggressive delayed burn, but then again not that bad. Just one piece from opening this, and then it's double available here, so there shouldn't be any problems with surviving. Oh, we get some not good pieces. We have to burn using this lomba, but it's still fine. Now we are going back to the bottom using this. Now we are in kind of unintentional Tetris-like ninth column setup. It's not a Tetris, that's why only Tetris-like, but the whole shape is pretty much the same. Bottom line is sacrifice, so it's 4 high here, counting from the very bottom, and we are gonna have to wait for Lomba to put in there and burn. We get the Lomba, and here another mistake. There are a lot of like slight mistakes, not really serious ones, but then again, those second options aren't that good in the long run. This S should have gone either to the right, or if possible, all the way to the left, where it would be by far the best, and it would create early Tetris setup after putting it all the way on to the left, because then the first two columns would be ready, and the third one as well, by the way. Right, here we're just burning, and very aggressive setup immediately, but nice, we're playing for Tetrises, so that's the way to go. This aggressiveness. Utilitarian burn in here, making the first two columns ready for an S or Z burn. So that's very nice. And within this space, here it was possible to put it the other way around, but why to create such a hole in here if not needed? This one maybe I'm gonna draw, because it once again isn't that obvious, while it's very interesting. Okay, we have the bolt. I put the J in this direction, so now I'm only these 2 points short of Tetris readiness, but this J technically could also go here, which isn't bad by any means, because now it's only one piece from Tetris readiness, and there's a very nice 2 wide created here. So the whole the whole board works all together pretty well. But in the game, this is surely fine as well. This regular simple way. Let's continue. And we got the Tetris setup. Burn immediately when possible. Now it is possible. And we're waiting. This second O is kind of a mistake. It should have gone all the way to the left as well. We are 6 high here, so the O piece can go all the way to the left as well. Now this isn't that bad because it sets up this burn here and sets it up immediately. But then again, if we get such an O, it should go all the way to the left by default. And this lomba goes all the way to the left using that wall charge, which was created here using the well to bring the lomba all the way to the left. And slow double. Once again, no rush. We have absolutely unlimited time. Yes, it's all fine. All just fine. And this is fine as well. Maybe this L isn't that good. Yeah, it's quite too aggressive. I can clearly see what I was trying to do. I was trying to set up on the 8th column. But I don't think this is the way to go. Now I'm 3 pieces away in the best case scenario, while this is kind of a spire already. Yes, this is a spire, so it would be slightly better to accept that the game doesn't give the very good pieces and simply take the double here. Which is a viable option as well. Just the single, no rush there is. Oh, that's lost das, but here I got it back. Very nice. And O goes to the left immediately. It's gonna be the base for the third con setup once again. Here, just waiting, hoping for good occasion. Once again, no rush. And here, this is great. Tetris setup pretty much out of nowhere, but very clean, very safe. Those were just pieces who set it up. And if game wants to set up a Tetris for you, most likely it's gonna give you a lomba as well. Yeah, that's quite a nice setup, actually. Okay, we're burning out of it, burning here and there. And now another very aggressive setup. This one was too aggressive. That's too RNG dependent. Only all goes all the way to the left without quick tap, along with lomba of course, but I don't consider lombas in this kind of situations. So yeah, it was just too aggressive. That's why I committed to the mistake and brought this all the way to the left as well, so that there's a good chance for this very nice delayed setup possibility here. Okay, we're burning. And we are basically back down, but here, another mistake, unfortunately. This Z has to go here, because now we have the same thing here and here, while after this one wouldn't be open onto the right anymore. This would be open to the right with L possible, and this would be open to both sides. That's why putting it here would have been slightly better. Okay, that wasn't a good long bar. Yeah, the stone bar may cause a lot of trouble. It splits the board furthermore. Now we have the same thing here, and also this 2 right here. But I think it can go all the way to the left immediately. Yes, it can. There's its place. All the way to the left. Here, to the first column. As simple as that. On pile 19, as expected, the simplest solutions are often by far best. Here, now we are back at the bottom basically. This most likely there's no dash, not enough dash to bring this all the way to the left here, which would be the best placement. Now this J to the right, also quite interesting, but is it really that good? I wouldn't be so sure about it. Yeah, it seems like to be slightly better simply here in the middle somewhere. This is very aggressive in a way that you really need something here and here into completely different kind of spots on the board. If you have one setup like this, or like only one piece, then it's fine. Then it often even is kind of balanced. If there is this one point you need, this one piece you need to solve everything. But here you need two, and this two is like three too many. Okay, but fortunately we get the lambas, so we can fill one of them. Now the L goes all the way to the left, so the situation is secured once more. And the T goes here in the middle, very nicely. Perfect spot for it. And we're following the very basic stacking rules now. Well, this is interesting. I was pretty sure it would have gone here, because this seems to be like the natural placement. But yeah, this isn't bad as well, only creates this massive wall in here. Okay, yeah, quite too high maybe. This wall is massive, but then again, should be fine. And I know it will be fine. So just burning for a bit. Feeling the good spots. This L, quite the same thing. Maybe it would be better to put it vertically to the left. Yeah, it seems like it would have been slightly better all the way to the left here. The problem is that it not only does it make the left more built up, I think also that now this creates this kind of 4 white hole here, while this is 4 white as well. So there are way too many 4 whites. So that's why I'm pretty sure putting vertically to the left would be slightly better. Okay, let's continue. Now I need something to fill the middle. Oh, and that's a very aggressive setup. I like it though. It's another all-in situation. Just, it's so there's an option to set up for it. So I went for it, it looks like. And it shouldn't be that bad. It's quite a decent setup, I believe. Of course, nowhere near the cleanness of regular third Cornwell, but still, this should be just fine. Okay, yeah, that's just too aggressive. That's all in placement. On the other hand, why not? It's PAL 19, so such an aggressive Tetris setup is an option as well. But now the things are getting very tricky. We're gonna have to fill this in order to just have any burn. This burn makes it a little bit nicer, I have to say. And another O to the left would be great as well. And we misdrop. There's O misdrop. Oh, wait, is it? No, it isn't. It was a video lag. Kind of weird. But yeah, this O goes all the way to the left using this 6 high property. And a single here, because it's possible. And the nice Tetris, very good. So we have yet another Tetris, but then again, we had to get the proper Lomba at a very good moment. Here trying to bring it all back down to safety once again. That was some kind of possible setup. Maybe I wanted to try 8th cone now here, but I stopped, which is fine. Now some dust issues, but maintained pretty well. Oh, and this is very aggressive. Normally, when trying to clear up something like this, the lomba simply goes all the way to the right. The bottom line sacrifice, there's absolutely no rush with it. But here in such aggressive game, why not to try it? After this, there's quite a decent chance for Tetris here, because left would be very nicely built out. Oh, what's this? Was this a misrotation, or I had some crazy stupid idea to set up for the right well? Well, I don't know. We'll see. Normally, this L burns a single here. Once again, as simple as that. Yeah, I don't know what I wanted. I don't think I would set up for Tetris with already over 200k game. This would be quite too risky according to my standards, or at least it should be. Although, who knows? Maybe I had some crazy ideas when playing this particular game. Yeah, that's great. It's all the way to the left. No rush burning. Simply to the left. The same should have been done with this O. It would be slightly better. All the way to the left. Here. Okay. We take this burn. Now the same with this O. It would have gone all the way to the left. Oh, and here yet another mistake. A series of mistakes. Okay, the lomba helps quite a lot. That's very nice, but here, these aren't good placements. This would be slightly better. Simply flat. This would be slightly better here. Then again, it shouldn't really cause any trouble in the long run. But then again, why to get into anything like this when it's possible to avoid it? And it is possible. But yeah, it's fine. Just fine. And this also go to the left. The second one should follow on the top, I believe. Yeah, it would be slightly better this way. But just slightly. It's all fine. This is fine as well. And this as well. Now, some kind of improper pause, but still managing. And this tea is really great. Wow. I didn't expect myself to have seen it. why is this T great? Now, if we put this T anywhere else, if we put it here, we have the first column closed. The second column will be 3 high, while the first one 2 high. So it doesn't work. In this direction, it's the same. In this direction, we have this O hole on the left. So this doesn't really work. Here, that doesn't really work because we would need this J to the left, basically. Here doesn't really work because it's number dependency. Here doesn't work at all because not only doesn't it burn anything, but also it creates this hole on the right, and this is going to be needed to just burn this one line, while it might be problematic to open this in the long run, because T has such a specific shape in this case that it would leave this point filled, while this and this points open, empty. So it could be slightly difficult to clear out this. But we have this tip here, which is great. Now everything is still open. Left is accessible for everything. Here we have this perfect L setup. It's just fine. And we get a lomba. This is fine as well. In this case, this double hole on the right, this lomba creates, this along with this isn't really a problem because the kind of dependency was much more of the problem than what we got now is. And this is kind of irrational. Once again, be slightly better simply here, maybe even here, but then again, that's nice. And as the bottom line is sacrificed, we can exceed the sacrificium in this way. It's gonna be fine as well. Yeah, it's just fine. Wondering if the stage shouldn't go the other way around. Not in this direction, but in this direction. So pointing to the right. But now when I think about it, I don't think it makes any major difference. Maybe there is one thing that would suggest that in the other that direction it would be slightly better to put it. The thing is, if we put it in this way, burn for example with a Z, we're gonna have the same thing here and here. While if we put it in the other direction, so in this way, after, for example, Z here, this is open to the right, while this is open to the left. So this would suggest that setting up the delayed burn the other way around would be slightly better. But not significantly. Now this setup isn't that good as well, because this is 4 high, and after all there are some holes and some difficult stuff we basically want to avoid if possible. Okay, let's continue. Here we burn. Burn, all goes to the left. Now this line has to be sacrificed. There is no other good spot to put this Z. Here doesn't work because we would make the second column fall high, which is way too high, even if delayed burns are possible. And we are back open once again. Now that's quite aggressive. Maybe I wanted to try to transform it into a Tetris setup, as there isn't much of a chance. This J should just go into this hole here. This would be the way to go. Okay, slowly burning, pin to the left, and now we are gonna have a perfect pre-setup for my column well. Yes, my well has a very good chance of being set up in here. This looks really great. And another O follows, now it's very high. And typical transform to the fourth column, because the lomba which can do it comes. I remember I said quite many things about it in the part on setting up for tetrises, where I tried to play this no gravity game. That in this kind of situation, it's very good to transform the well to the fourth column well. There is quite a good chance of getting this Tetris out of this, I believe. Well, yeah, it seems like it's this something right here, two pieces here. This right is very well. There should be a Tetris out of it. I mean, Tetris setup. If we want to set up one. And we want to set up one. Yeah, just as I expected it. You don't have to believe me, but I just kind of foresaw that. Just judging by the shape of the right. Once you set up hundreds, if not thousands, of Tetrises in this kind of way, you can often just feel what is a good early setup and what isn't. Here, this one is. You get this very nice space here and here, and it's also very safe in a way that you can always burn. This space is gonna cooperate nicely. We're gonna get a lot of various burns here, so this gives a really great chance to set up for Tetris here on the fourth column. It looks very good. Here we have the setup. Now we're waiting using the space on the right, and the number comes fortunately. And here we can immediately start setting up for another Tetris, this time either on using my well or the fourth column well if the lomba comes once again. Now we're starting like this. And this doesn't seem to be that good. Because there is this double shape here and here, so it can be quite too much. Yeah, it can be quite too much, although it shouldn't be, but it may be. We'll see. Yeah, it has to burn. Now it was kind of transformed, and now that's much better. Of course, there's this possibility. I'm pretty sure I've taken it, but even without this O, this is a very good shape, because any single here, this flat single here, makes it very easy to continue setting up here on the third column. Yeah, I'm taking the setup, so now we're just waiting. Then here it was possible to take the single, and I'm not sure if it wouldn't be slightly better to take it immediately, because we don't really know if there will be a better chance to take it. But yeah, the stay works on the very right pretty nicely as well, so it's alright. And we're taking out the tetris. Sliding down those tetrises as it should have been done. But this also shows how much of possibilities, how many possibilities rollers have on NTSC 29. If they switch to those center ones, those safer ones, they could easily reach the double kill screen pretty much every single game while going for Tetrises pretty safely. It all comes down to this space you have on the board. If you have this space on pure DAS 119 always, and can easily exceed this to that, then roller has two more rows easily. So look, this is what they can have with this left extension. It would look like this easily. Let's stay with that. But they pretty much all of them refuse to have this, 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 and this basically. Look how much of the reduction, and if they want to be safe, it goes down to something like this. Look how much of the space reduction that is. Well, if they just decided to go on with Mywell, they could easily stack 5 O's on top of each other on the left, and this would be kind of an empty board for them. That's how much space there is. Look how great it is. How many burns. You can even run on 29 with Mywell, you can even maintain some controlled burns here, some controlled double well here, keeping the first two columns safe all the time. While on the right well, it's basically impossible. You need very good pieces to do anything. So yeah, switch to the third column well. Okay, let's go back to the game. Now, oh, I'm a little bit surprised about this. I thought this would have gone here, because now this is kind of a good starting setup for the fourth column well after this O here. For some reason I didn't want that, I just wanted to burn. Maybe I wanted to line out till 300k, that's possible. I don't remember, that doesn't really matter. But and it doesn't really matter in a way that here we have absolutely unlimited time. So as long as we survive and we are clear, everything's fine. Yes, I'm gonna repeat that over and over all the time, because it's the whole essence of PAL 19 play. Oh, that's getting tricky. Out of nowhere. Surprising there will be such short trouble out of nowhere. They all start here, because this L has to go all the way to the left, obviously. Which I didn't see or didn't do for some reason in the game. Just a terrible mistake. But here, then again, the spot isn't that bad. Yeah, this always kind of unfortunate. It's all due, but as you can see, it's all due to this very left, this tricky shape. I remember I told some things about this kind of shape on the left in the previous parts a bit. It tends to be very problematic, and this position, this board, is an absolutely perfect example of that. Once again, OBS doesn't cooperate. We'll manage. So here, how are we burning out of this? Yeah, I'm just waiting. Here and there, we need a lomba. Plan is to get a lomba. It will be too high compared to this. 2 here, 0 here. So too higher, so lomba here, or L would be better, of course. And then another lumbar here. If they don't come, we are gonna have to wait for else either here or after the lumbar else to the left in this typical burning pattern. Fortunately, the L comes, and now this doesn't burn immediately because this is the perfect piece to the left in this case. So it goes to the left, goes here, and finally the lumbar comes. Now we are not out of trouble yet. It may seem that it's nice, but this board is entirely broken right now. We have triple hole here, 1, 2, 3. This is yet another hole. So we have 4 holes just within 7 columns. That's a lot. That's literally a lot. That's why I wonder if it wouldn't be even slightly better to sacrifice the 2 bottom lines immediately, trying to put this all the way to the left and opening it piece by piece, point by point, because this situation can get very tricky very soon. It might be very difficult. And what I really don't like about this O placement is that it also creates this 3 high left. Now we have double hole here, double hole here, and this hole in addition to that. All of them altogether are way too much. Now we are completely RNG dependent, basically. Okay, so now we are in this kind of double setup. We're waiting for either an L to the left or lomba here. And it's possible that if we get JL, they can also go here. But in this situation, you would have to be very careful putting this L in here, because after this L in here, it's going to be very easy to get into a situation where both very left and very right of the board are very low compared to the middle. For example, if you get an L piece now, put it here, it can spiral out of control very easily. And we need both this and this to make any progress. And also this, which can create some trouble combined with this one on its own. So if you get an L, don't even try to burn here. It has to go to the left. That's also kind of a rule in this kind of setups. If you get an L, in 97, 98 maybe percent of the situations where it isn't like entirely obvious that the L has to go somewhere else, it's gonna be by far better to bring it all the way to the left. Okay, we continue. Oh, that's interesting as well. And that's a mistake, I believe. I don't like this one. All the way to the left. Yeah, I don't really like it. It seems like it would be much better here. Because now it doesn't really solve anything on the left, while it blocks the first column for a moment. So it's gonna be quite difficult to manage it if we don't get the first burn very quickly, and we are 2 pieces away from the first burn. In the best case, the very best case, we need something to put here and here. This requires 3 pieces at least. This board is way worse than it seems. Please work. VLC, work, please. Okay. Here, and we are gonna sacrifice this line, I believe. Or maybe it goes all the way to the left. Yeah, we're sacrificing. And that's the thing to do. Bring it all the way to the left. It wouldn't be a mistake in itself, I believe. But just why? If you would need another lomba to just get access to this, you don't know what's gonna happen this high. If you fail, you are 3 off the ground. Sacrificing 3 lines is quite too many. Just look, if we sacrifice 3 lines, sacrificing 3 lines, the space is reduced to just this. Just this. This is not enough. Well, technically it's just the half of the basic space to transform this here. Here is 3 rows, so it's 7.5 pieces. It's not enough. Let's come back. So we sacrifice this line, and here I wonder why I didn't bring this lomba all the way to the left. It seems possible with that dash. I really don't know why it doesn't go there. It should have been possible to bring this lomba all the way to the left. Okay, here there was lost das. Das is lost on this, so you can see how late the second movement is. It's only now. So das was very late. Here. And now this is fine, because here we have 2 burns. So we had to take this chance. And this is fine as well. Now we're back to safety. And setting up for another Tetris here. This is quite interesting as well. But why not? Just very aggressive. Yeah, it may work. Yeah, that's another all-in Tetris setup. All or nothing situation. Once again. Normally we would just burn here, bring this J either here in the middle, following the burn, or all the way to the left. To the left, most likely slightly better. And then we would slowly bring it to the very bottom and start setting up once again. Okay, but here, yeah, this is kind of a way to play the game as well at the end of the day. Though, it isn't that bad by any means. It's just one of those just going all in situation. So sometimes it's kind of the way to go. You have to help your luck, especially here. Once you start it, then continue. Because why not? But always remember that every Tetris setup is completely dependent on RNG you get. So once your Tetris is ready, the game may kill you at any point, and there's nothing you can do with it. Which doesn't mean you shouldn't try, of course. Okay, this is here and here. Now, just very aggressive Tetris setup. What's the plan from now? We are going to try to fill this, fill something to the left, and try to create some double well here if possible. Most likely it won't be possible, but there is a chance for it. So we are gonna take whatever we have, and this is what we have. Oh, it kind of happens. We are pretty close to double well. Here this L is kind of a mistake, I believe. Because if it was put in this direction, there would be this double well immediately. Now, there is no double well yet. I mean, there is one, but not true double well yet, because we still need something to the left. But on the other hand, we have 4 pieces now which really help us. We have O to the left, S to the left, lomba of course, and even L now would burn quite a lot. So compared to what we had, it's pretty nice, I think. Yeah, it's much better than the thing we used to have. Now finally slowly building the sides firstly. And this is not a good idea, I believe. Because with this thing on the left, it might be pretty difficult to do anything here. Yeah, let's try. But yeah, I'll just burn it down. And here we have kind of an area setup, but this as kill set. If you wanted to be really aggressive, of course you can go here with the S and then try your luck on the left. Oh, this complete misdrop. It's a complete misread of the board. I have no idea what I want to do here. I wanted to burn, then not in this direction, but in this direction. I think it's pretty obvious. So I really have no idea what caused this mistake. Now we get another L very soon, fortunately, so it goes all the way to the left. O follows normally. This one follows normally as well. Oh, and there's a quick tap. Yeah, it would be pretty difficult to survive it without this quick tap. It was 7 high, so quick tap was needed here. With O somewhere in the middle, most likely this is game over. Especially in this situation, this quick is very important because in this way we avoid putting anything over this hole here. So still we are 1 L away from getting everything to relative safety. Or just safety, basically, not even relative safety. Just safety. Oh, I burned this way, that's a mistake, but that's due to the quick tap. I had no dust. Normally this Z goes here. Here there is no dust, so it has to go here. And this T goes there, because there's no other option. And O goes to the left. Once again, no dust most likely. Or maybe I saw it, because normally it's natural to put this number to the right now. But maybe I saw that if I put it on the right, I would have this double hole here and here. Right, this vertical lomba here in this very situation isn't that bad. It's quite, yeah, it's difficult setup, of course. But I'm not sure if it's possible I saw it during the game. Most likely it was just a lucky mistake, because this lumber here is most likely the best placement possible at this point. Okay, and this flat burn, flat kind of delayed burn, and this to the left, and now we are back to safety. And look what we have now, possible third cone well again, but here most likely I wanted to burn to the very bottom. Yeah, this is what happens. That was quite unlucky once again. I didn't get anything to the left here. And maybe I wanted to set up for the 8th column now, hoping I get this L. This isn't that risky, because there are two great pieces which solve a lot. Of course, Lomba goes into the well, solving everything. No Tetris, but back to total safety. And L to the left makes everything clear. Maybe not everything, but brings us very close to set Tetris readiness. This is kind of double well started, so it's not as bad as it seems. But of course, if you wanted to just survive, this Z takes the single, so that this isn't 3 high anymore, then it becomes 2 high instead of 3 high, which is very nice. Just barely. And here, this typical kind of random, accidental second column well case scenario. Very good early setup, having been 6 here and 5 high here. This looks very nicely. With this Lomba now to the right, it looks, yeah, just better. Look how much space there is to wait. And a free double, basically. Which makes like another 4 pieces of space easily. Okay, I set up for the Tetris immediately, kind of rushing it. If you want to be safe, a safe relatively safe Tetris is possible here. You just put this here and wait for something good here. Maybe double well immediately. Quite a lot of options. This is this kind of rushy option. But the left and the right are so nice that it should be fine. Yeah, it's a little bit of rush, but it should be fine. We get the Lomba, fortunately. There are no trouble at all. And now, I think that was kind of a continuation, because now it's possible with another Lomba to the left, there would be another very nice setup on the second column. Or after just feeling this a bit, there is this kind of J possible as well. But yeah, bringing it all the way back down is also a good idea, as usual. Now a bit of simple cleaning. Again, now we have this great early setup with this O's tower on the left. And we managed to set up our Tetris here. Setup is very nice, but a little bit not enough space on the right. I believe without these 2 points it would be great, because there would be this double well. Now it might be quite difficult to make up any burns here. No, it should be possible eventually. Oh, it won't be. Yeah, it won't be. It won't be possible, unfortunately. It's getting quite difficult here. But well, once again, we go for tetrises, so this is what is gonna happen. Now we have to wait for the lomba. This time we get one. Are we going to get out of it? The plan was very simple. We're trying to now use the whole space we have on the right. Oh, I believe I was trying to get a quick tap here. Here on this O. It looks like. With this quick tap, you don't see it here, but I see the face cam when recording that. So I see I got this quick tap, missed quick tap movement kind of on this also. Most likely I was trying this quick tap. With this quick tap, it would be slightly easier because then you have this that high, which is as high as the left. So this burn would be possible here, making everything slightly easier. So here the tactics are very simple, straightforward. Just using this whole space, waiting for the lomba, whatever it takes, trying not to break the right entirely. So still playing as clean as possible, just like this. Lomba comes, and now we are gonna try to save it. It's not impossible to save it, but it will be very difficult. Okay, it's all fine. And this setup, it wasn't even a decision setup itself out of the burns. The burns set it up basically. There wasn't really anything else to do. We need this lomba, this. That's just what the game has given. So now double is possible here, and it's waiting for lomba. I mean double or triple or a lomba. Everything works, everything saves, most likely. Oh, but there's nothing. Finally, there's the double. There's the lomba, but now it seems too broken to save it. You would need a miracle left. This is 8 high now, and we have 3 burns possible, but 2 of them are left empty. So it's gonna be very difficult to survive it. Oh, and this T ends the game right on the spot. That's a serious misread. This T should have gone here. Just waiting for anything to the left, like L, J, lomba, O. This T is gonna block everything up just immediately. Now it's 7 high here, and you can't do anything about it, so a quick tap to the right is needed. It's basically game over unless true luck. Out of luck. Oh, and with this team is drop. It's just game over, right on the spot. Okay, so well, I think that's it of the game. It's very nice this game wasn't like only my well, also some other wells, because that's how it is in real games. You don't stick to one well. The one well is only the basic starting strategy, but only then you try to implement all the things, see what the game gives you, how it transforms the wells, especially when going with this vertical lombas, moving the well to the right, like in this situation you have, for example, a well, something like this set up, and you get a lomba now. So moving the potential well to the right with each next lomba, which gives good results relatively. And yeah, if you want to stack for tetrises, you're gonna have to get through thousands of setups the various setups, not only third com ones, also the second com, fourth com, something in the very center of the board, eighth com as well sometimes, because this one is relatively common in the real game, ninth com as well. Sometimes you are going to have to set up for the right wheel as well. So there's a lot of things to be done still, a lot of things to discover, a lot of potential possibilities when playing higher. It's possible to create like your own style of burning or on accepting or refusing particular setups. Refusing, I mean just burning it all back down. But when you want to try, I strongly recommend just trying to set up for those simplest third Conwell tetrises, like this, 2 O's or 2 long bars or 2 J's, then feeling the right, and then trying to wait for a long bar while getting some burns. Once you feel comfortable with it, the rest is gonna come with time by just all those accidental setups. Also, I want to say it's quite important not to ignore tetrises entirely, because they give those tetrises setups give kind of entirely different sensation of the game and are very important in terms of burning. Out of many burns, when you are kind of out of them, you are gonna have setups which are kind of Tetris setup like. Especially if you are 2 rows of the ground. For example, if you had something like this, I don't know, let's say something like this, and you get a setup like this one, here you are in a kind of third Conwell setup. Not in particular, but the basic ideas remain the same in situations like this one usually. So it's important not to ignore them. Of course, playing for lines and just surviving is always the main priority. If you don't play for fun, like entirely, if you play entirely for fun, do whatever you want. But if you play in a tournament or you get some good 18 start post transition run, then you're going to have to focus on the just surviving if you want to have good results. But it's still very good to know the stuff. So I strongly recommend when you just practice, start each game with trying tetrises. The first few, maybe not few, a few dozen lines, like up to 20 lines, you don't really risk anything. So just try them. Maybe sometimes you will get even 3-4 tetrises in a row to start. Rarely, but it happens. It's just about getting those good O's to the left and good right. For 3 tetrises in a row like this, from time to time, you have to get lucky enough. It's like statistically impossible not to get them at all if you stack for them properly. And it isn't that difficult. Also, once you started, you will have early top outs, like very early top outs a lot. But if you started with setting up for a Tetris, you are going to top out not out of your mistake, but out of not handling a difficult setup very early in the game. So you are going to learn quite a lot in this way. In opposite to just trying to line out from the very, very beginning, which ends up in the misery anyways, and you haven't really learned anything stacking wise in this game. Once you start with a Tetris, you are going to learn something pretty much every single time, because you have to go through thousands of those Tetris setups in order to be like decently familiar with them. I mean the very basic ones. in order to get familiar with those more sophisticated ones, most likely human life is too short, unfortunately. Or fortunately. It depends on how you look at it. Alright, so I think that's it for this episode. In the next one, we are going to take a look at the classic, the 600k 19 start game. Analyze the whole one. That game, the previous one was just pure line out. This one was very aggressive. That one is gonna have pretty much everything. But here, before we end, aim to finish this video. As I have already promised, I'm gonna play this whole game as a whole, now without no commentary and without any pauses, so that you can watch it at once as it was played originally, and review some things, or maybe you're going to find something new. And then again, if you think I missed something, or you don't understand something, or you think I made a mistake somewhere, please let me know. I'm gonna respond to all of that very happily. Thanks, bye.